And this segment is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sports booking app. Not only is it safe, but Deke, it's secure. And that last part that we love is the reliability, right?
Yeah.
And we also know this, Deke. We know this. It's a promo code that we're using right now, right?
Yeah.
For all the first-time users, it's a promo code that if you use this promo code, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. The problem is, what's the promo code?
I don't know. I think it's pretty simple, right?
It's
Come
simple
on,
to me.
you have to remember it, right?
You know, after everything that I've endured this weekend, I'm not sure. So what is the promo code?
Okay, luckily my memory is pretty decent. It's Moats.
There we go. I know what come back to me. The promo code is Moats. So if you use the promo code Moats, for all the first-time users out there, you will receive up to $1,000 in deposit bonus money. So what are you waiting on? Download the app, use the promo code, and let's get an opportunity to make a little money. All right, so this first question, man, we got from BHAM80. When do you think Randy Fichtner either gets with the program or gets fired? Do you even think he's on the chopping block? Randy Fichtner is offensive coordinator for those that are unaware. Honestly, this might go against popular belief. I don't think he was a problem last night. I thought the O-line protecting Ben, especially on the passes that were going to be longer than just the quick 1 or 2 seconds. I thought the O-line struggled big time, especially on the edge with the tackles. We saw that. It was highlighted multiple times. I thought that was an issue. I thought Ben struggled with his accuracy a lot and his decision-making. Mm-hmm. We talked about the Ebron play where Ebron gets hurt. You see Claypool would have been wide open for a touchdown. It was a couple other situations. I think even on the Juju pass where Juju gets killed, it was another guy open as well. It was a couple instances like that where it was just poor decision-making. Either was a late throw or underthrown ball as well. But I thought the designs of the plays, guys were open. And when you talk about the coordinator, let's remember what the coordinator's job is. The coordinator's job is just to scheme up plays, to call plays situationally, to get you in the best call. But the quarterback and the people on the field have to execute that. So when you have multiple guys running open, that's not on the coordinator. We saw the running game come to life. Benny Snell looked great last night.
Yep.
I mean, it's to the point where people are questioning, man, should he be the guy going forward?
Definitely.
That wasn't an issue with Randy Fichtner. Randy Fichtner did a great job in terms of, I loved his off-tempo runs. This is something that we've talked about a little bit in terms of your counters, your draws, right? Because we know with the way people have attacked us in the running game have been counters, draws, pulling plays, right? Stuff that is going to take your aggressiveness and use it against you. We saw that happen. I mean, now for 3 weeks in a row, we've been struggling with it. But we finally on the other end started to use some of that. And we saw how Benny Snell was able to take full advantage of those holes. Even in the thing that I like about the off-tempo runs and using aggression against you, a lot of those runs, if you really break down the tape, we weren't winning the line of scrimmage. It wasn't as if we were getting movement. We were stalemating. But when you stalemate, we said this, right? We said at least stalemate, that will at least keep it 50-50. And then from there, make a play. Benny Snell was making those plays off of the 50-50 stalemates. But the 50-50, we weren't even getting that prior to that, right? Typically, we were losing the line of scrimmage. And it was guys having to be dodged in the backfield. But all of those things worked out well. The coordinator, I thought, did a good job yesterday. Now, granted, if we're critiquing him over his full, season body of work, that's a different conversation. But as it pertained to last night, I thought he called a really good game. It's just the execution wasn't there, and it was across the board. Like I said, quarterback, offensive line, receivers. I mean, it was just across the board, man. So to me, I think that's more of the issue right now. I mean, we could talk about making moves to coordinators in the offseason, and that conversation will be had. But at this point in the season, you're not going to switch your coordinator out 2 games before the playoffs. That's just not happening. But then secondly, like I said, last night's performance was not indicative of Randy Fichtner in a negative way. Randy called actually a good game. Guys were open. I mean, the situations were there. We just didn't connect on them.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought Ben had a bad game, and then on the other hand of it too, I mean, you mentioned it. It was Ben had a bad game, mm-hmm. Offensive lineman, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, like we're doing these short passes. I had an inkling like part of this is out of need potentially. Yeah. Because whenever we started to try to do some of these deep passes, dude, he had no time. Mm-hmm. And there were times where there were guys open downfield and stuff, and that's why I said I don't think Ben played that good. But I'm chalking it more up to, and not like this is a good thing or bad thing, whatever it is, but like I just think bad game versus shitty team. Like one of those, like Ben in the past, whenever we lost to the Ravens with Mallet, we lost to the Jets on the road. Like that's what I'm thinking. In terms of our prospects going forward, I still have confidence in Ben. I still have hope in Ben. That's my thing. So
I wouldn't expect you to have anything.
No, yeah, 100%. But like, you combine that with the O-line, and weirdly enough, the receivers were getting up. There was times though, I'm like, do we have the separation we need on some of these? But at the end of the day, I thought Ben played. He had a bad game. Line wasn't up to par. Receiver, actually, you know what? I want to give a shout out to Deontay, man.
He bounced back in a big way,
like
man.
some of those catches were tough catches, like a slant across the middle, a lot of combat catches. Like he played really good, and Benny Snell played good.
Yeah.
So in terms of offensive coordinator, you saw the replays. There were guys open, like, and that was something I was watching. I'm like, bro, like he's just making bad reads and shit here, and some of the throws were bad. So,
but that's the thing, and I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people, they just view if it's a good play or bad play. If it's good play, they say it's because of Ben. If it's a bad play, they put it on the coordinator, and it's like that the bad plays that happened weren't because of the design of the plays or even the timing in which they called them. It was just the execution wasn't there for a variety of reasons. Like you said, we're not going to sit here and just say it was just this player or just that player. I mean, we could go with the popcorn theory, essentially, where, okay, first is these guys over here, they're messing up. Now these guys messing up. Okay, they get their thing together, but now this group over here is having some issues. That, to me, has been the case, though, the past couple of weeks. And I think that's why this time it's a little bit different in terms of why people are a little bit harder on Ben now compared to the years past. Years past is typically just the one game like that. Right now, people are saying these past 3 games, they haven't been his best. You know, in terms of this season's body of work, this has probably been his worst stretch this year. So I think that's another reason why people are talking about it a lot more. But yeah, I mean, just like in anything in life, right? It's never as bad as we think it is, never as good as we think it is. So even though initially gut wrench, you're like, man, Ben played bad, we're going to go back and watch it again. And it's going to be like, bro, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. We're going to look at the receivers. Man, it wasn't as good as it could have been. We're going to look at Benny Snell and have the same type of thought process. That's just how it goes when you're talking about these games, man. I mean, it's unfortunate that they're happening right now in succession in terms of 3 of these performances in a row. Typically over a 16-game season, though, man, it's like, oh, you might have this in the first 4 games. Then you have
happened in the past.
Yeah. It's just the because it's the
timing,
timing of it. It's going to be heightened and sensationalized a lot more. But
yeah, definitely going undefeated. To start the season off too.
It was a lot of hype.
There's been a lot of hype. Yeah.
So yeah, but I like that question. B-Ham 80. That was pretty good, man. But yeah, I don't think Randy Fichtner. If we're talking offseason, that's a different conversation in terms of him being on the chopping block potentially. But I do think that he is going to be connected and directly linked to Ben Roethlisberger. And we know that Ben did say before the game that he does intend to come back next year as well. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that whole situation plays out. But the Steelers typically don't fire their coaches. Now, they do they just won't re-sign a guy. And I'm not sure if Randy, does he have a year left? Typically, those guys are either on year to year or every 2-year contract. So that could be a situation where you might see him not re-signed. But in terms of them making a move during this season, I don't see it happening at all.